Hello. Welcome to another podcast episode of the Vow to Be Fierce podcast. I'm your host, Kayla Cordero. Thank you for listening. It is Monday, October 13th, if you're listening when I'm recording. And really, this is a continuation of my Instagram stories this morning. Just so you know, you probably hear some background noise. There's no school today, so my girl is doing her thing here in the background. And sometimes you want to plan things and you want to do things, but you're not always going to be in a space where it's extremely quiet and like all of the variables are going your way. And if I allow that, then let me tell you how I'll get nothing done. Okay. So I was like, I'm hopping on my podcast because I was trying to share on my stories, but Instagram wasn't loading them and it was a little annoying. And then I was like, you know what? This is happening for a reason. Let me just pivot quickly and record a podcast for my people. So hello. I just, okay. All right. I invite you to close your eyes for a moment if you can, if you're in a space to do that. And I want you to put your hand over your heart if you can and feel that heartbeat pumping. Feel you, yourself, you're alive. And I just want to send you so much love. If you're listening to this and you're going through something, I send you support, good vibes your way. If you are thriving and doing it up and, being in your joy, even better, I celebrate you. And if you're not in a great place, that's okay too. Just know that you're not alone, and I'm thinking of you, and I love you. And I have no idea why I felt called to pause and say that. But that's for you. That's for you, boo. Okay. Now back to the message. Okay. So, on my morning walk, I was doing my daily walk and getting it in the start of the day. And, I usually have, I just pop on Instagram and share my stories. Just, whatever's coming up for me, or a message or an inkling, whatever. I always share with my people. So this morning it was all about, I have this strong messaging, so strong that I'm like, I need to create a podcast about this. And if you're listening to this, listen, please, I am inviting you right now to share this with someone. Share it with someone who you think may need it, even if you don't even think that they need it, but you feel a pull to share this, please do so. Thank you. I appreciate you. Also, it gets visibility up there in podcast world. And for me, this year, one of my goals is to really get out of my own way and be comfortable in the uncomfortable of being seen, because I want to create impact. I am so clear on my vision. I am so clear on my purpose and my calling. But I have been hiding for years. I have been playing small y todo, all that jazz. We're not doing that anymore. But in order to do that, in order to grow, in order to expand, I do need the support of my community, which I am so deeply grateful for, because I have always been blessed with the supportive community. And I love you. And excuse me. And in that same token, I support my people too, right? So I'm just letting you know that one of my goals is to expand, and that is part of trying to touch the lives of the people that need to hear it. And I am a believer. I'm not a believer in numbers. I'm about impact, and I really do believe quality over quantity, right? So whoever needs to hear this is listening, blah, blah, blah. You already know how I do. A bunch of side notes. Okay. So the messaging that I had this morning is for whoever needs to hear it. Start now. If you don't feel like you have the tools yet, or the knowledge or the experience or the filling the blank for whatever your thing is, stop. Stop and start. Stop playing yourself on this wheel of like going into this circle. And I'll tell you why in a second. Because sometimes it is about timing. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Sometimes it is about putting things into place, and certain like preparation is important. The foundations of something is very critical to its strength, and that's going to determine how successful something is, because you can't build something on like wobbly legs. Like, no. That's why I'm all about like, listen, okay, we don't do half-seas over here. We just don't. Whatever we're going to do, big or small, I'm all in. So that's the vibe, that's the energy. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. I'm here to remind you that if there's something on your heart, or there's something on your mind, or if you have an idea and you've been talking about it for years, or if you've been thinking about it for years, or whatever it is, start today, like right now. Like, pause this recording and go get your notebook and start writing down whatever the thing is, or take the step that you know can advance you, and do the thing, whatever it is. I don't care. Because a lot of the times we get in our own way, and that's okay. And I'm sharing this because, look, I'm here on the podcast, right? I was thinking about the podcast the other day, and I'm like, I launched this in 2014. That's like more than 10 years ago, okay? And that is crazy to me. That is crazy. And what happened? I started it because I knew it was a thing. This was before podcast was a thing. It was just another way of communicating with my community, and I'm always looking for opportunities for that. And it was just something that I started, whatever. What happened? I started, I stopped. I started, I stopped. I kept going on and off. And it wasn't because I didn't have what I needed. It was because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my vision enough. And I say that, and I laugh because it's like, what? Like, I'm the first one to believe in what, like, when I tell you Vow to Be Fierce is such a, like, it's part of me. It's part of who I am. It's like an extension of me. I'm always thinking about ways to serve the community. I'm always thinking about ways that I can grow and improve, and I'm on my healing journey. And the reason why I am doing what I need to do to deepen the relationship with myself is because I want to deepen connections and relationships with other people, and I want to be a bridge. I feel like, especially now more than ever, we need bridges. And I will say that in each episode. And this is not only about now. This has been for always. Just because things are louder now doesn't mean that it was not needed before. I just need to throw that out there. But anyway. All right. Reel it in, okay? But let me tell you. So anyway, with the podcast, right? I started all those years ago. If I would have continued, I would have been like a master at podcasting, okay? I would have, yeah. And that's okay. And I'm not. And I'm okay with that, because I tend to look at myself critically. And I need to get the critical. I looked it up before, and it was about like analyzing. Hold on, let me go back to it because I had it open and then I went into another tab. Okay. All right. We're rolling with me. Thank you. All right, critical. Expressing or involving an analysis of the merits and faults of a work or literature or music or art. But we're going to put it, we're talking about it in the parameters of our lives. And when you look at your life critically, and this is the most important part, with like through a loving lens, okay? That's the piece here. When you can look at your life in a critical way and analyze it, and like, and the reason why I had the in the other tab, I had it judgmental. I had it open because I feel like this word gets thrown around a lot, and I throw it around many times, and I'm like, I hate when people are judgmental, like look in the mirror, blah blah blah, right? But when we think of a judge, what does a judge do? A judge looks at the facts, listens to the people, right? Sees all sides of it, and then deliberates a decision. Or if it's the jury, whatever. But we're talking about the judge. And we are currently in Libra season. And think about the symbol of Libra. It's the scales. It's justice. And judgment is part of all of that. And I have judgment open here. And so I think it's about, like for me, and I share this because this is my own experience, I'm trying to reframe some certain things that maybe I resisted before, because I'm like, no. I'm looking at my life critically. I'm being honest with myself. I'm saying, okay, what works, what doesn't work, through a loving lens. I'm not trying to beat myself up. I'm not trying to hurt myself. I'm trying to speak to myself in a way that I would speak to my best friend, and support and encourage her, and do what I can to provide whatever I could to help her, right? And that also includes being honest and looking at things critically. So, okay, judgmental, I looked it up. Having or displaying an excessively critical judgment. A critical point of view. Now, excessive is like too much, right? So that's why I say, when you think of judgment, you have to think about it like you're a judge. And this could be decisions in your life. It could be whatever it is. I want you to look at all of the facts. Take your emotions into consideration. Take all of the things. Look at all sides of it. We're going to really channel our Libra energy and look at all sides of an issue. And then we're going to come and we're going to deliberate and we're going to make a decision. And a lot of the times you have to know what works for you. Sometimes it's your gut instinct, like right away. And sometimes, you need to think things through and look at the pros and cons and blah, blah, blah. Really see what works, what doesn't work. But when you think of your life in a critical way, it's going to help you so much faster, and it's going to quiet the chaos around you, because your voice inside of you is going to be like your truth voice. It's going to be louder and more grounded. And another side of this story is that I had a conversation with someone about something that they wanted to do, right? And it was very clear on what needed to happen next, but it wasn't happening. We were talking in circles for a while, and this has been an ongoing conversation. This is with a friend. And that person was like, I want to make this move, pero thinking about all of the logistics that go into it, and thinking about the what ifs and the unknowns and all of this stuff, right? But the conversation has never shifted in 2 years that we've been talking about this. And I'm saying this because if there's something that you haven't taken action towards, this is a loving reminder to reflect and assess. Sometimes it is divine timing. Sometimes it is that you need the tools and resources to prepare and plan. Sometimes, there are real barriers. And I also say this with an asterisk note in here. If you're a person that has experienced any trauma, if you're a person that had like grew up in a background where chaos was the norm, or if you've experienced things where you've gotten thrown in situations where you're like, yo, I got to figure this out, and it's a real thing, then I hear you. And I also like, that's important, because I too myself, I like to plan, I like to know the things. But I share this to say that sometimes you just have to go for it. When it comes to something on your heart to create, when it comes to having a conversation that you need to have, when it comes to going for the job that you've been wanting, when it comes to believing in yourself, when it comes to whatever, taking a class that may not make sense, but you feel the call to do it, whatever, do it, okay? Because that is where the magic lies. Like, you have this for a reason. And I was telling the person, I was like, if we would have started, or if you would have started this when we first started talking about it, we would be so much further ahead. And that's the truth, because we could talk about something for a long time, but we have to get really curious about why we're not moving. Why? And that piece is important, because sometimes you're not meant to do the thing. And sometimes you resist making moves because maybe it's not really what you want. And it's important to dig deep and figure out, like, okay, I say I want to do this, but you haven't really done anything towards it. Okay, why? Is there a fear there? Is it something that you think you should do because someone else thinks it's a good idea? Are you afraid of whatever it may be? All of that is valid, okay? But here at the Vow to Be Fierce movement, we are all about honoring ourselves, where we're at, our feelings, our emotions, our lives, our backgrounds. Everything is valid, and we want to do something about it. So if there's something that you haven't given much action to, get real with yourself. Is this something that you actually want? Because if it's not, and I share this, I'm like, oh, ding, 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 this is exactly why. Because a lot of us are out here tired and exhausted, and we have no idea why. And it's because we're not thinking about the mental exhaustion, the mental energy we're giving to things that we actually don't want to do, but we think we should do. And it's like giving ourselves so much energy, and it's draining us, because we're like, oh, we should be doing this, or blah, 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 or we're getting hard on ourselves, or we're in fear of something. And it's like, yo, that's tiring. That's exhausting. So that's why I say, like, the sooner you get real and get critical with yourself, and you're like, okay, if this is something that I've just been like pushing away because I'm afraid, or like I feel like I don't believe in myself, or I don't have the confidence to do it, then that's where you need to lean into. And I share that because it's all about, that's how I feel about Vow to Be Fierce and its evolution, because it grows when I grow. It stalls when I stall. So if I stopped all those years ago and didn't do anything, that would have bothered me. And like, I would have been what ifing all this stuff in my life. But I didn't. I just started where I was, and that's why I'm still here. Like, I started wherever I was. Whenever I needed to stop something, I'll start on something else. And that's okay. I used to think that was the problem, because in this society, we're always talking about consistency. Consistency is key. Consistency is important. Well, guess what? Life is cyclical, okay? Life is not linear. It's not. You can try to do that. You can try to follow a blueprint of someone else, but that's not the reality. You have to get really honest about what it is that you need for your life. What is your blueprint? And I have a whole other episode about that, which I'm so excited to share. But anyway, I'm going to stop here because I don't know. We're good. I'm wishing you a blessed day. Until the next episode.